Hi, Jamie here from Impeccable Indigos, and today, no snakes on camera because we're going to talk about food and diet and what it's like to keep an inventory of good eating for indigo snakes. I often say that indigos are not beginner snakes. This is not so much because they're tricky like a boreal species, which tend to be more difficult to feed or particularly defensive. Indigos and Drymarchon in general are easier to keep than those kinds of species, to be sure. But the demands of indigos and Drymarchon are a little different, having to do with their rapid metabolisms, their feeding requirements, and their space enclosure requirements. Anyway, here's an array of my freezer. I've basically dumped my freezer, which we have more snake food than human food in these days. And here's what I keep on hand for 3 indigo snakes. The most obvious would be rodents. And these are mice. These are adult mice that run 25, 30 grams or so. We use that for the corn snake too. And my smallest indigo I still have on mice because the more adult the rodent is, the better the bone structure and the more calcium they'll get than feeding pinks or fuzzies or something like that. These are weaned rats. These are good size, and I feed these to my 2 larger indigos. My medium one, Otto, only just started taking these. He's run in the 30-gram range or so, or 35, and they have nice weight and solidity to them. But I also wanted to show you, if I brought them out here, I usually have rat pups. Maybe I didn't take those out. Oh, here we are. So these are called rat pups. And these are what I start when I'm moving the snakes from, here's a good example. You can see it's a little less hairy. So that's a rat pup. And when I'm moving snakes from mice to rats, these rat pups are the good start. That's a mouse that didn't belong in there. Anyway, so these are rat pups. Good way to move growing juveniles from mice to rats. But we have other things here, and especially we have birds. And they love quail. The one food, I think it's their favorite food. They respond incredibly quick. These are spot quail. They're small. They're typically 8, 9, 10 grams, sometimes even 7 grams. They're just a quick mouthful snack for the larger snakes, but they're really good for the smaller snakes, and they love them. And anybody who's in a kind of a bit of a mood on feeding, those little quail will get them going. Now I have medium quail here as well. These have a lot of feathers. I don't love these actually, but they certainly have more size on them. And right now, only my largest indigo, Iris, is taking those. They're reputedly not as clean as the spot quail. I haven't really experienced that with these. These come from Rodent Pro. I have no business relationship with them. There are other reliable sources as well, like Lane Labs and so forth. Also among the birds, these are chicks. And I actually like these chicks much better than the medium quail because they have much more meat on them, meat and bone, and much less in the way of feathers that these medium quail have. The medium quail are a little bigger overall, but the chicks are cleaner, and the chicks are also good. These are too big for the smaller snakes, but you can cut these in pieces, and a lot of breeders use chick parts, like legs, to start hatchlings, because Drymarchon hatchlings in general can be very picky at the start, and each snake wants something different. Some will start on fish, some will start on birds, some will start on live pinks, pink rodents, some will like fish. It varies somewhat, frogs and toads. Anyway, so using chick parts is a popular tool for breeders to get hatchlings going. Now, you're seeing here, I might as well address, these are Reptilinks. These are basically handmade sausages, and Reptilinks has a great website. They have all kinds of contents. I stick mostly to frog and iguana because these are the two things, amphibians and reptiles, that I can't really conveniently get to feed to my indigo snakes, but we know they take a lot of amphibians and reptiles in the wild. This is a 25-gram frog Reptilink. These are actually custom made for me. Good size for the larger snakes. There's a whole package of these. And these are iguanas. That's the darker meat. These are 25 grams. And then here's smaller ones for the smaller snakes. These run about 10 grams. They have many, many different contents. And I've never had much trouble getting my snakes to eat these. Sometimes you have to scent them a little in the beginning. Two of my snakes love them. My smaller one, Noir, the black female, she's gotten a little picky lately. She's a little moody and she's a little off other foods. She really wants rodents lately. I suspect that will pass. And then, for sake of complete variety, right now only Iris is big enough to take these. But these are frog's legs. Come from the Asian market, frozen, and they make good eating for humans. And they come, as legs do, in pairs like this, and I cut them in half. I think I have one in here. Yeah, I cut them in half. And this is the only partial prey I feed. I don't understand really why people feed fish fillet. Nobody's eating fillet in the wild. And, you know, for an animal that eats 50 or 100 times a year even, one meal of just fillet is a significant percentage where the animal's not getting whole prey. They're just getting this protein hit. So I personally would not feed fillet. I do not feed fillet to my snakes. The frog's legs are the one partial prey I feed because they have a lot of bone in there. So there's plenty of calcium. And then also in the Asian markets, we get silver sides, which is a safe fish. Not all fish are safe for reptiles, but silver sides are safe. These are some larger ones I picked up recently, and they're clean. They're headless. But the smaller ones you get are whole. You can also sometimes get them in aquarium stores. They use them to feed big carnivorous fish. And these will make their poop a little looser and smellier, so I don't feed a lot of these. But again, just for variety. So there it is. There's a smorgasbord for indigos. And that's one of the reasons that keeping indigos is a little more challenging than keeping other snakes. So I hope you enjoyed that little glance at the smorgasbord of food that we keep in stock here for our indigos in order to give them a varied diet that somewhat approximates what we know for a fact is their wild diet. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Give us your comments and questions, and we'll see you again soon here at Impeccable Indigos.